I think that's a unique thing about sneakerhead culture is we all have something we're chasing or something that's meaningful, and that a shoe can trigger memories. I mean, you could tell you were talking about the shoes you were wearing when you were dunking on Kevin Garnett. Like that's incredible to be able to tie that back.
Don't put that false narrative. I did not dunk on Kevin Garnett. The Jordan 5s is actually my favorite out of all the Jordans.
Yeah, because that was what, 1990?
Yeah, I think I was in I think I was eighth grade, somewhere around there, seventh or eighth grade, and I couldn't, back then my parents couldn't afford Jordans. They were $100 back then, but I got so many siblings. If they buy one pair, they got to buy everybody a pair, and so that just wasn't happening in my house. And so one of my best friends at the time, Willie Rogers, shout out to Willie Rogers. We wore the same size shoe back then. And he was the only child, so his mom would buy him Jordans all the time. And so he felt bad because I didn't have any. And so he had a pair of Jordan 5s laying around. I think it was like the fire red ones with the 23 on the side.
Yes.
And so you can rock these. And man, I'm telling you, I wore the heck out them shoes. I wore those shoes until the bottom of them just started flapping. And I didn't care. I just rocked them. And I felt bad because, they wasn't my shoes, but Willie didn't care. He was like, no, go ahead and rock them. But yeah, those are my favorites. Yeah, I'm always watching Jordan releases, not so much Nike releases, but I will get, certain Nikes. I know, the Barclays are starting to come out, and Huaraches, and I just hadn't bought any. But Jordan, that was like the shoe back in the days. You were the cream of the crop if you had a pair. I think my mom bought me my first pair of Jordans. I think I was turning 13 or 14, and she saved up her money, put them on layaway. It was the Jordan, I want to say 7 Bordeaux, kind of the grayish looking ones.
Yeah.
And she saved her money, put them on layaway at Foot Locker.
Layaway. I remember that.
Yeah, and my birthday is April 10th, and for my birthday she got them. I couldn't believe it, and so that kind of set the trend because my little brothers, they was like, well, she did that for him. Their birthdays is in September and October, so she'd do it for them, and that was her plan. So I was wearing a size 13 at the time. So I get them, and I'm wearing them. I didn't wear them a whole lot, but I wore them. But I knew I was going to play basketball in them. And so I started AAU that summer. They made in June. And I'm playing, and, I don't know what the fabric was. It wasn't very thick, but my toe pushed right out of both shoes.
Like Zion, right? Straight through the shoe.
Absolutely. And so my dad, took me to the mall to Foot Locker to take them back. Because, back then you can go and exchange your shoes if they were defective. And back then you could have the shoes forever and right back to Nike and get them back. Well, Foot Locker wasn't taking them back, and we didn't have the receipt. And so my dad almost got arrested because he was so upset about them not taking those shoes back. And so my dad was pretty hardcore and was the main disciplinary in the house. And so he got pissed. Ain't nobody getting no more Jordans. And so that was it. So my dad shut it down. So, kind of pissed my little brothers off because my mom wouldn't buy them the Jordans. We all said when we was able to afford it, we would buy as many Jordans as possible. I got a pair.
I find room in your closet. Where am I going to stuff the boxes? All that.
My wife keep buying me those storable stacker things, and I use them, but they kind of halfway laying around the house. I just bought my youngest daughter the Jordan 3s that came out Saturday.
You found a true sneakerhead. I loved it. This is good.
Yeah. When I bought the Legend Blues, man, I probably bought 4 or 5 outfits just to go with them. In the span of like 2 weeks, I got the shoe at home. I ain't even took these shoes out of the box. Like I got the box, I opened the box up, filled the paper bag, looked, and I folded it right back up and it's sitting in my closet upstairs. I only take those shoes downstairs, but I bought like 2 sweatsuits, a couple of puffy vests, and just different things to wear with them. And I have no clue when I'm going to wear these shoes. Like I thought about wearing them yesterday when I was out. I was like, nah, they're going to get dirty, so I can't take them out yet.
Sun was out today. It was tempting to take something out, right?
It's too much salt on the ground. It's too much salt on the ground.
It's still winter. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I love how you describe that, because peeling that paper back, that's like the new kicks feeling that you want to
Yeah,
recreate. I loved it
yeah,
as a kid, and I still
yeah.
love it as an adult. Yeah.
Ain't nothing like it, man. If I could,
Man, I mean, he would have to listen to a Hall of Famer, right? Like we got to talk about that too. You're our
he
first
would.
Hall of Famer, so
Really?
congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I
Can you
appreciate
take us
that.
through a little bit of that, man? Give the viewers a little bit of what you were nominated for, and again, congratulations. It's an incredible accomplishment.
So Centennial started the Hall of Fame. 2018 was the first class, and so this is 2025 class Hall of Fame that I got inducted in. Myself, Nicole Porter, who is a phenomenal basketball and softball player. Scott Nagy, who was on the only, the first state basketball team. They went to Elite Eight. And he played with Rodney Clinton, who also went in. He was in the first class. They eventually lost to Kenny Battle at West Aurora. We have Jeremy Hunt, who is a local firefighter here and who is a awesome baseball and football player. Being able to listen to his story was absolutely amazing. Who else we had? We had Corey Harris, who was a wonderful volleyball player. She was actually one of my students when I started teaching at Centennial. Gibbons Skelton, he was a swimmer and diver. Some awesome story with him. And I'm missing somebody. Coach Nagy, myself. Ryan Clacy played football, and I believe he played baseball as well. So, man, it was super surreal moment. You know, you dream of it as a kid, all the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears to, get acknowledged. And it didn't hit home for me until the actual night of the ceremony, going up there, being able to do my speech with my parents out there. And, my dad is the one that influenced me with the game of basketball, my little brothers, and my mom. So it was super awesome. I think the most I scored in high school was 30. We had a shootout before the season started called the back to school shootout or something like that. That kind of Mike Vinegar kind of helped organize. It was myself or Centennial, and then Peoria had this all-star team with Mike Robinson, who went to Purdue. DK MacArthur had a squad in it with Cortez Bond and John Cliff, and then Farragut came down with Ronnie Fields and Kevin Garnett. That's when, you know, if you're a basketball head, the infamous Kevin Garnett came down here and played before he
Dang.
played, in the state tournament. And so he had just got off the plane from South Carolina, where he's from, and they picked him up from Midway and drove down to Champaign, and we had this 2-game shootout. And so we played against the Peoria team. I'm feeling pretty good. I ended up getting 30 in that. A few dunks and stuff. So it was pretty good. And then Farragut ended up beating MacArthur. So it set it up for us to play Farragut. Now, I had played against Ronnie Fields, pretty much throughout high school because he's a grade under me. So I think I ran into him or found into him when I was a sophomore, he was a freshman. Man, I've been around a lot of basketball. I ain't never seen anybody jump like this dude. Like it was absolutely unreal. And I could jump. I was pretty athletic, but it's just, he was just at a different level. And so, nerves are there, but, you want to be a competitor and all that. And then we had not ran up against somebody like Kevin Garnett yet. We had played against a few, long athletic guys, but nobody with like this skill set and this athletic. And he was so athletic, like when he was dunking, he'd look down at the rim on you, and he was trying to hit you with the ball through the net. Like, if people don't believe us, like, it was just unreal. I think I had 3 or 4 dunks in the first game. I didn't have any dunks in that game. But they made it the point to challenge everything at the rim and let you know there wasn't no dunks. And so we trash talking back and forth, especially when I get fouled. But it was pretty fun. It just got to the point where, I just stopped driving to the hole and I'm just shooting threes, because otherwise you just taking the chance of getting your shot blocked every time.
All right, Phil. What's in that box? Let's see those.
In this box?
Yeah, what'd you bring?
All right.
Let's see those 5s.
I just thought, given Centennial, and I had a chance to play with Coach Carradine for the summer, so I didn't go to Centennial, but to get sort of some notoriety and go through the paces of recruiting. Coach Carradine, a family friend, so this and that. So I did actually pick these up, not just for this conversation, obviously, but and wanted to bring them out for that conversation. These are the only pair of University Blues that I own. Still mad at Sean May for his bully ball way back in the.
We all are mad at Sean May for that.
But no, this was just one that came out. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Obviously reissue, but it was just one of those things that it popped. I have not worn them yet, so one of the few pairs I have not actually put on feet.
Okay.
I bring these out.
That's
for.
unlike you.
It is unlike me. I wear my stuff, man.
Why you buying if you ain't gonna wear them, man?
That's it. Exactly. Bury me in them, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to wear them. So these will see the light of day this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sonny, I think what's a pair that you've been chasing? Maybe you saw them on feet, so you like, you've been looking after them for years, maybe not able to find them, but what's something that stands out for you in terms of your sneaker game?
Jordan 10s, the steel ones that's coming out this year. I got to get them. When we had those
Seven shoes you said you got to get this year already.
I gotta have them, bro. Like because there's a story behind each one of them. So we had the pennies that year. And my point guard Anthony Figueroa, shout out to Anthony. None of us had money, and so he had a little hustle where he gets some shoes. Maybe the air bubble break, and then he sent them back to Nike and they'll send him a different pair of shoes, or they'll send him like a little gift certificate or whatever.
We all had that hustle, by the way, all of us.
Yeah,
Right?
well, I wasn't hip to it yet, but he used it and he wasn't really telling nobody about it. So he out of one of them pairs, he ended up getting those 10s and like stuff like that. He's super secretive about. He won't tell anybody about it, so he could be the first one to wear them. And everybody got these pennies on, but him, and he got the Jordan Steel 10s on. And I'm telling you, he pulled them suckers out of the box. We were hating on him so bad. I was just praying, man, don't get no dunk with these shoes on, because he's gonna look so fresh when you do it. But those are a pair that I've been chasing for some time that I'm going to get this year. So yeah, that's a pair.
Andy, what did you bring out today for your festivities? What's from 1982, fresh out of the box, never opened, that you're bringing out today?
I went there, not quite 82, but these are about 18 years old. I've worn them a couple times, but it's the Nike Air Stab. Hey, so this midsole is just, I'm hesitant to wear it just because it's so old, but this is 20 years old, but it's a retro of a running shoe that was from the 80s. Like the whole leather is upper, but it's very loud. Nike Air on the back, as we all know, like that's kind of a sign or a clue that it's from the 80s or early 90s. But that's very bold. And then I went to, these date back to 1987. It's a very bold shoe as well. It's called the Nike Air Safari. Same concept, like a leather upper, but it's got this like, the snakeskin print, and then the name of the shoe on the tongue, which is another indication of a shoe from the 80s. But then the last one I brought out for today, just three.
He talked about me with the 7 shoes, but go ahead.
Yeah, right. Making fun of me with 3 pairs, but you know what this pair is, Phil. So this is a Nike collab that they did with Nike ID. It's called Nike by You now, where you can go in and design your own shoe. But the year was 2019, so we're not going back in the archive very much. But you came into my office because we worked in the same office. And I had these in my desk because if I got a special pair and I would just bring them into the office just to like put them up on my shelf and glance at.
You would hide them from your wife. That is exactly what you would do. You would not, no, don't give me this shit.
You're calling me out. She better not watch this episode.
Yeah. You're gonna have in trouble.
Phil's right though, Sonny. Phil's right on this one. Oh,
is she?
No, I mean she's into shoes, but no, she's not like me. But
you gotta start buying her a pair of shoes when you get yours. That's how you get away with it.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Exactly what happened.
That's how I've been able to get away with mine, because I just started buying my white shoes.
Good call.
100%.
Yeah.
But so this pair, Phil, it was 2019. You walked in my office, I pulled them out and showed them off. But there's a story behind it. So it's a Nike Air Force One. It's kind of bold, but they did this collaboration with a brand called Pendleton. But they did like a very premium like leather on the inside with the Pendleton branding, and then nice like leather hits on the tongue. I know I sound like a shoe salesman, but that's all right. But I went with like and I remember your exact description. You were like, this looks like such a good fall shoe, right? So, but Pendleton like has a deeper meaning because one of my best friends growing up in the 90s, he would always come to school with like these nice clothes, like dress shirts, flannels, sweaters, and he was just very trendy. And I was like, man, where'd you get that? You know, where'd you get that jacket? Where'd you get that sweater? And he would say, Uncle Mike. So he had an Uncle Mike in Chicago that was always bringing down these clothes as hand-me-downs to him. So shout out Uncle Mike, but the brand that he would bring down to him was Pendleton. So back in the 90s, that's how I got onto that brand. Didn't really do anything with it, you know, but this was my first Pendleton purchase as a Nike consumer. Now I'm kind of into Pendleton too, though. Yeah.
And that's the good thing about what we've been talking about. Like a lot of the folks we've had about 6 or 7 guests on have a similar story, right? It was something that, the shoes they wear, what they aspire to have, or like you said, Eddie, with the clothing and just like that feeling of like fitting in and actually shining it seems to be a pretty constant theme from everyone we've talked about that's had similar upbringings. And
Yeah.
I think that's a unique thing about sneakerhead culture is we all have something we're chasing or something that's meaningful and that a shoe can trigger memories. I mean, you could tell you were talking about the shoes you were wearing when you were dunking on Kevin Garnett. Like that's incredible to be able to tie that back.
Don't put that false narrative. I did not dunk on Kevin Garnett.
Man, Sonny, thanks for spending some time with us. We talk about shoes, we talk about life, we talk about things like this, and you've got an incredible story. Congratulations to you and for everything you've accomplished. We're proud of you, proud of that you're from here, and we appreciate you spending time with us.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, man. Absolutely honored. It's been a blast.